We've all been there, right? You're sitting in a presentation and the speaker is just all over the place, jumping from one idea to the next, and you're left totally lost. Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the one skill that stops that from happening. It's called signposting, and honestly, it's the secret sauce for presentations that actually make an impact.
Okay, so take a look at this. It's the perfect metaphor for what we're talking about. On one side, you've got a clear route. You know exactly where you're going from start to finish. On the other, no signal, route not found. A really great presentation, it's like that first screen. It's a guided tour. But a bad one? Oh, that leaves your audience completely stranded, trying to figure out where in the world you're trying to take them.
And yeah, this quote, this is pretty much what's going through everyone's head when they're lost. Too much information. I don't understand a thing. It's not just that they're bored. Their brains are actually working overtime, trying to piece it all together. There's a name for this. It's called cognitive overload, and it is the silent killer of any great idea.
So what exactly is cognitive load? Think of it like this. It's the amount of brain power your audience has to use just to follow along with you. It's kind of like the battery on your phone. Every confusing slide, every piece of jargon you throw out, every time you jump topics without warning, it just drains that battery bit by bit until, well, there's nothing left.
And what happens when that mental battery hits zero? It's not pretty. Your audience gets completely overwhelmed. They lose the thread of your main message. They just zone out. And that brilliant idea you had, the whole reason you're up there talking, it gets totally lost in the static, and absolutely nothing important sticks.
So how do we stop this from happening? How do we keep that battery charged? Well, there's a really simple but incredibly powerful solution, and it's called signposting. Just think of it as your verbal GPS. It's the tool you use to literally guide your audience, making sure they stay right there with you for every single step of the journey.
So what are these signposts, really? They're basically mental road signs. You know, they're the little words and phrases that tell your audience, hey, we're about to take a turn here, or, okay, this next idea connects to the last one. Their number one job is to make your argument super easy to follow, which, you guessed it, reduces that cognitive load and makes listening feel effortless.
All right, so if signposting is our GPS, then we're going to need a map to start with, right? Every good journey needs a map. And in your presentation, your introduction, that is your map. It's your golden opportunity to lay it all out for your audience. Tell them exactly where you're going and how you plan to get them there.
And a really strong intro, a great map, has three key parts. First, you've got to grab their attention, maybe with a story, a surprising stat, something to hook them in. Second, state your destination. Be super clear. What's the one big idea you want them to leave with? And third, preview the route. Literally tell them, first we'll cover this, then this, and finally this. No surprises. They'll know the whole plan up front.
Okay, maps drawn, engines running. Now for the journey itself. We're moving into the main body of the presentation, and this is where your transitions become so important. They are those road signs we talked about, the things that pop up along the way to make sure nobody gets lost.
And this slide, this is basically your verbal toolkit. You've got different tools for different jobs. Need to add a similar idea? You can use words like furthermore or in addition. Want to show a different angle? Try however or on the other hand. If you need to lay things out in order, it's as simple as first, next, finally. And to show a result, therefore or as a result. Seriously, getting comfortable with these simple phrases gives you so much control over the flow.
All right, I want to share a really cool technique with you now. This is kind of like a pro tip, but it's so simple, anyone can use it, and it's incredibly powerful. It's called the summarize and switch. Trust me, this is a foolproof way to move from one big idea to the next without leaving anyone behind.
So here's how easy it is. It's a two-step move. First, you summarize what you just talked about. You'd say something like, so, we've just seen why simplifying language is crucial. Then you do the switch. You clearly pivot to the next point saying, now let's turn our attention to how powerful visuals can also help. See what you did there? You locked in the last point and gave a crystal clear signal about what's coming next. It's brilliant.
Okay, so you've navigated through all your main points. It's time to bring it home, to reach the destination. And a great conclusion doesn't just end. It's more than that. It confirms for everyone in the room that you've all arrived at the destination together. This is your last chance to make the whole journey feel satisfying and complete.
And just like our introduction, a really solid conclusion has a super simple structure. First step, signal that it's the end. Use a classic signpost like in conclusion or to summarize. That's the cue for everyone to lean in for the final takeaways. Then, step 2, give them a quick summary. Remind them of your main argument and the key points you made. That's it. No new stuff here, just pure reinforcement.
So, after all this work, what's the actual payoff? Is it worth it? Well, check out this number, 42%. Studies have actually shown that using clear signposting can help your audience remember up to 42% more of what you said. That's not just a little improvement. That is a massive difference. That is the difference between a presentation that's forgotten the second people leave the room and an idea that actually sticks with them and makes a real impact.
Look, when you master signposting, you stop being just a speaker. You become a guide. You're the one leading people on a clear, confident journey from confusion to total clarity. Your audience is ready to follow you. So the only real question is, are you ready to be their guide?